Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I'm doing my play in preview between the 9th seed Sacramento Kings and the 10th seed Golden State Warriors. Mike Brown versus Steve Kerr. Basically, you guys get it. Either way, the way this works is we're going to spend the first 5 minutes talking about the Golden State Warriors, then the next 5 about the Kings, and the last couple minutes of the video are going to be who I think is going to win, and then they'll face the loser of the Lakers Pelicans game, and whoever wins that will end up facing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if you guys want to comment down below who you think is going to win, and let's get right into it. You can just skip with the timestamps to what you guys want to hear. Let's get right to it. Like and subscribe. All right, let's talk about this Golden State Warriors squad, the 8th best offense of the league. They went 46-36. They're the 10th seed. They're 15th in defensive rating, 11th best net rating in the league, 7th best three-point shooting team in the league. They scored the 8th most points. And to close out the season, Golden State was a team that was actually the 8th best point differential, which means their points scored per 100 possessions minus the points allowed per 100 possessions. So they were the 8th best in the league with plus 6.2, as they were the 11th best offense, points scored per 100 possessions played, and the 8th best defense, which is a points allowed per 100 possessions. So right there, that just goes to show that to close out the year, they were one of the better teams on both sides of the ball, and that was per cleaning the glass. Shout out them. So let's just go ahead and talk about this team and what we expect. So when you look at a team like the Golden State Warriors, this is a team that heading into the playoffs, injury-wise, I know that Draymond Green rested, and so did Steph Curry against the Jazz. Gary Payton II, his availability we don't specifically know. We know he's out with that calf, and he hasn't played since April 9th against the Lakers. Hopefully he's going to be available, and I'm going to be under the assumption that he is, as is a do or die game. For them, I think this is huge, as they'll get the opportunity I think Oklahoma City Thunder are a team that a lot of people want to play in, with Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Trace Jackson Davis kind of being like the 5-man rotation that they've been rocking, and Chris Paul, B-Pod, Gary Payton II, Jonathan Kuminga being their 9-man rotation. I could see that as we get closer to, not closer, but the game, when we go up against a team like Sacramento, where Domantas Sabonis, this is a top 12 rebounding team in the league. The Kings, while the number 1 rebounding team in the league is actually the Golden State Warriors. So I think the Warriors, their goal is going to be controlling the glass and trying to stop this offense, the Kings, which is one of the top offenses. And I really think this is going to be a big defensive matchup for the Warriors. If they can shut down Sabonis, or if they can shut down De'Aaron Fox and force Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes and Malik Monk. Well, I don't know if Malik Monk's going to play because he's hurt. So I don't think they're going to force him. So I think the Kings might be a little short-handed in terms of scoring punch to keep up, as I don't know if the Kings are going to be able to stop the Warriors offense. And to close out the season, Curry was on the season, let me just tell you what the averages for the Warriors were. Curry averaged 26 points, Klay averaged 18, Kuminga averaged 16. Wiggins ended up scoring 13 points a night, and he actually kind of ended the year pretty well, shooting 45% from the field, 36% from 3, 4.5 rebounds, just under 2 assists. And I know it was rough, and times it wasn't great. B-Pod averaged, for Wiggins, and then B-Pod, Chris Paul, and Green are all averaging 9 points a night. And you still have Moses Moody, Dario Saric, who are playing well. Trace Jackson Davis has been a big part. Gary Payton's been a big part. And they still have Kevon Looney and Lester Quinones if they need to. But to close out the season, Curry was averaging 26. Klay was averaging 22. Wiggins was averaging 15. Kuminga went down to 12. Trace Jackson Davis was averaging 10 and 7. Chris Paul is averaging just under 10 points and about 6 assists, and B-Pod was averaging 10 and 6 with 6 rebounds. Green was averaging 9 and 7 while also playing good defense and shooting really well from 3. And we got to see Moses Moody and Gary Payton kind of be like the end of that rotation. So for me, I think, like we said, Curry, Klay, Wiggins, Trace, and Green is going to be the starting lineup, with Chris Paul and B-Pod being the 6th and 7th guy in the rotation. And that's where it starts to get hard. Is Kuminga is going to be the 6th man, right? if they're going to continue with the lineup they had. And then, yeah, I think that's right there. You'll see maybe a little bit of Dario Saric and Kevon Looney, but Trayce Jackson-Davis and Draymond Green will make up the front court, and I expect those two to be in the game for most of the game, either going small ball or big ball. And if they want to keep, a big next to Green, they might go Looney or Saric. But at the wing position, it's going to be Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga playing the small forward and the power forward position, with Moses Moody probably helping out and Gary Payton helping out on the wing for Wiggins. While the guard position, Curry, B-Pod, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, they'll figure out there. Klay will also in bigger lineups probably play some of the wing. But if they can, make the Kings bad, not elite defense pay and just rebound the ball, I think this could be the Warriors game. So let's go over and talk about the Kings. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think of this? As I definitely think it's interesting. So let me hear your thoughts. The Kings are a team that I thought Mike Brown did a good job of focusing this year on defense. They are the 14th best defense, 13th best offense. This is a team that had opponent offense last year, but not a really good defense at all. One of the bottom defenses. So they went from, I think Mike Brown even said he'd rather, get way better at defense at the expense of offense. And that's what happened. They have a top 15 offense and defense, and that's huge. Their net rating 17th. They're 36% from three. They're one of the teams that is actually the 9th best points per games team. They literally, any scoring stat, they're still really efficient. They don't get to the free throw line, but they move the ball around. Top 15 rebounding team. One of their problems, though, is like inside scoring. They do a good job on the perimeter, forcing teams to shoot, not the best. In terms of, my apology, they don't do a good job of forcing teams to teams shoot really well on them. They're like the second worst 3-point percentage allowed, which means like teams just cook against them, but they shoot at a very low volume. And they also aren't the best rim protection team. So for me, when you look at a team like that, I think defensively for them, the Kings, it's going to be, can they stop the Warriors? Can they stop the Warriors? And that's where I think the fear is. Can they be able to hold the Warriors at bay and not let them just attack them? And I think, yes, they have some injury concerns. If this goes into a shootout, I don't know, with the injuries that have happened, with Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk being out, can the Kings keep up with the Warriors, who are a bit more healthy, in a shootout? And that's where I get concerned. So as we look at their stats to close out the last 2 weeks of the season per cleaning the glass, Sacramento was a team that they were, in terms of point differential, they were 15th per cleaning the glass. In that span, they're the 12th best offense with points per 100 possessions, while 14th defense, points allowed per 100 possession. And again, middle of the road, significantly not as good as the Warriors, who were clicking, top 8 team. That's where I get scared. As De'Aaron Fox, Keegan Murray's putting up, 18 to close out the season. But on the year, their scores are 27 a night from De'Aaron Fox, 20 from Sabonis, 16 from Monk, 15 from Murray, 12 from Barnes, 10 from Huerter, 7 from Lyles. Ellis and Venzikov give you both 5.5, and so does Davion Mitchell. And that's really it in terms of scoring wise. And going into, if you looked at their most recent game, where the end of the season, where they played a decent bit of dudes as they wanted to make sure they won this game. They blew out the Portland Trail Blazers. I just think, again, to close out the season, their guys, 27 points a night from Fox, 18 from Murray, 18 from Sabonis. That's good. That Murray, stepped up for the occasion, was putting that. While Barnes was averaging 11.5, you got Ellis averaging 10. So is Davion Mitchell. It's good that Davion's there playing well. Lyles is averaging 8, and those are the main scorers. A little bit of Sasha and some other guys, but not like it was a game that people would, like they have a bunch of scorers. So, and in this final game, we saw off the bench, in terms of the guys who got the brunt minutes, Davion Mitchell and Trey Lyles. This is where I'm getting scared. Like, will they have enough shooting as we head into the matchup against the Warriors. And where I think Sabonis could have a field day against Trace Jackson Davis, Kevon Looney, Dario Saric, and Draymond Green. I think that's something people need to understand. Harrison Barnes, he can either have a great game or he can disappear. They need Keegan Murray to be their third scorer. Sabonis, Murray, and Fox, if they can have Murray, Fox, Barnes, and Sabonis carry the load while Keon Ellis, Trey Lyles, and Davion Mitchell, because Davion Mitchell, Keon Ellis and Davion Mitchell are like their two best defenders. If they can go in there and help lock up Curry, Clay, B-Pod, Chris Paul, and then you still have, on the wing, Barnes and Murray are going to have to contain Clay, Kuminga, Wiggins. If they play Moody, it's going to be interesting. And outside of Sabonis, Lyles, he had 8 rebounds in this past game, but is that going to be enough to contribute to the boards? The number one rebounding team this year is the Warriors, while this is a team grabbing 44 rebounds a night while the Warriors are grabbing almost 47. And I'm not saying that's like an indicative factor, but being physical and imposing your will is always something that's gonna help. So I'm curious. Let's do our predictions. So this one's difficult. I think if the Kings were at full strength with Kevin Huerter and with Malik Monk, this might be a different story. But because both of the guys aren't there, it's going to be De'Aaron Fox. Like the matchup straight up right now, if we look at it, De'Aaron Fox and Keon Ellis is their backcourt. That's going to be going up against a Warriors backcourt that, if you guys saw, in their last game, the Warriors in the game against the Utah Jazz, they went out there and they ran a lineup that had Curry in the starting lineup, okay? Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Trace Jackson Davis, and Jonathan Kuminga. Do I think that's going to be their lineup to end the season, or to go into that playing game? I don't know. Obviously, this was the games that I think it's going to be maybe a lineup kind of like Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, Trace Jackson Davis, and Draymond Green, if I had to choose, which means Keon Ellis and De'Aaron Fox against Curry and Klay Thompson. And that's going to be difficult. While Sabonis with Trey Lyles is going to have to, for 48 minutes, go against Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, Kevon Looney in a rebounding battle, second chance opportunities. Like, I think Sabonis can score on those guys, but I don't know if he'll be able to win the rebounding battle and contain the boards, while Barnes and Murray is going to have to think about containing Kuminga, Wiggins, potentially B-Pod, and B-Pod's also going to be playing guard, and Moody. Additionally, at the guard position, Keon Ellis, Davion Mitchell, and De'Aaron Fox have to also think about Chris Paul and B-Pod. If Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter were here, I think it would be a different story on who would win this game. But because of the way that it's playing out with who's going to be available, I really think that the Warriors are the better team, especially with the Kings being middle of the road to close out the season, as they weren't a top offense or defense, more middle of the road, while the Warriors got hot to close out, and a lot of their players seem to really start to get to their spots. And I think that's going to carry a lot of weight, and it's going to be hard for the Kings to win this one, I think. And I think the Warriors really, really either want to play the Pelicans or the Lakers, because they know then they'll get a chance against the Thunder, who I think the Thunder is somebody that a lot of these play-in teams want to play instead of the freaking defending champs Denver Nuggets. So if I have to choose, I think this is going to be the Warriors. Nothing against Kings fans. It's just I think that the injuries are going to really, really give the Warriors the upper hand. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. That's basically going to be it for me today. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you made it to the end, go check out all the other ones. I think it's definitely, I'm very, 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 very curious to hear everybody's opinion. What could be and not be. So yeah, That's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's it for me. But peace out.